Hello, Tamily. It's time for interview 134, and our guest today is Alicia. Her Instagram name is Tam in the Country, and we will be getting connected with her in just a second. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being our 134th interview.
Oh, it'll be one like no other, I'm sure. With my new location, I've got dogs in the background, so anything could happen.
Well, we love that. It's about being real. And your lighting actually looks amazing. You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
So we'll go ahead and get started with some of our planned questions, but we'll also ask any questions in the chat so everyone can start typing in now. But we'll start with when and how did you start the Tracy Anderson method?
Oh, goodness. I think most people know Miriam kind of recruited me. July of 2018, I remember. It was really, really hot. I think the last time she had visited before that, she was walking away and I saw her legs and made a comment on how fabulous they were and that I wish that I were tall. And I was kind of, I guess, giving her credit for her tallness, leading to her amazing legs. And she's all, no, this is work. And then the next time she came over, I was talking about how when I work out, I bulk up a lot. Like I just get those manly, masculine arms. And she goes, you know, this method I've been telling you about, you can stay fit without, And we sat down one day, I went out in the garage with her and actually worked out and had a blast. And I look back at the memories of those first workouts. And I think that same week I had taken a random friend of mine. We went to the park. And we actually did a TAM workout in the middle of a public park just for fun because we're crazy like that.
That's awesome. I love it. So for you, what kind of results have you seen from doing the method?
Well, I'll tell you, there's definitely a big difference when I do it consistently and get in my groove versus when I don't. I'm talking physically, mentally, the changes are instant. Within 5-10 minutes of going, I really feel the difference. For me, in my 40s, the legs, I've always had thick legs and kind of the cellulite. And so when I'm consistent with that, I really notice a difference. I can look in the mirror and go, hey, that's kind of nice. And so there's that part, but just feeling good about it is the biggest thing. And I think I was open with you previously, and most people, I do it for how I feel. That's 1,000% my motivation.
Have you ever been to a Vitality Week or a studio?
I have not, and I'm worried about the heat, but one of these days I hope to. And the closest I've been was kind of our private one with Kelly. We got the chance to work out with Kelly when we were in Thailand, and she whipped my butt, my arms. She really got my arms to go, I should say, more than anything, because she is amazing. But that's the closest I've come so far. We'll see if in the future there's a meetup somewhere.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, if we ever get to again.
So I think that trip was exactly 1 year ago, like last weekend or something, right?
Yes, it was February 2nd to 9th or 10th. It was probably the most exciting part of getting memories, but the hardest thing as well, just seeing how much everything has changed and getting to meet a group of women that all shared this in common. And, the Tracy Anderson method, what it brings together, and how down to earth everyone. I'll be honest, I was really nervous. A group of girls, 9 girls in one place together could have been a disaster. But I think this common bond really made it. So.
Well, it's funny when I think all meetups are like that. Of course, that one seemed rather epic with a trainer and the place that you guys were and the things that you got to do were really cool. But it's definitely just, no matter what, wherever it is, if it's Tamily and they're together, it's amazing.
Agreed. We could have been in a little shack and had just as much fun, I think. The pictures might not have been as glorious, but
Right. But I thought that was funny that, like, you know, a whole year goes by and then that was happening and you just see the things pop up because of, you know, sharing memories and everything. And I was like, well, that'll be exciting to get to talk to you about that a little bit.
it was, yeah, it was something else. And, you know, I said I'd mention them all by name. So Sigrid, Heather, Adita, Kelly, Parveen, Zaida, Leslie, Miriam, mwah, mwah. Oh, and me, of course. You know, such an amazing experience. And, you know, I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but I'm hoping we get to do it more than once.
Definitely. Definitely. Tamily meetups are going to be going crazy as soon as, like, travel is all right.
But, you know, the Zoom meetups aren't so bad either.
That's true. Honestly, that's so true. I mean, you get the energy from it. You get to talk to each other. You get to work out together. Those have truly, truly been amazing. I mean, and especially all the different groups, like Michelle putting so many things together. Yeah. Totally amazing.
Michelle has rocked it with getting people together. I'm not sure I would have gotten off my butt many of the mornings without knowing that she would be there waiting. And her dog helps too. Hi, Magnum.
For sure. What would be your advice, being that, you know, now you're a couple years into the method, to someone that's new and just starting to try out the workout or just now joining the Tamily?
I think the main thing for me is just relieving yourself of that pressure and not comparing, because it can be really overwhelming in some regards to go, oh, I'm supposed to do, you know, these people are doing it 5, 6, 7 days a week. And I think when you get, oh, I've done 3 or 4 and you're feeling really good and you have that little backslide, I think it's easy to give up. But to know whatever you're doing, just showing up is enough, and being there and doing it for you, because you can look at people that have been doing it for years and go, yes, that's amazing. They look great. But in our own right, we deserve to be there and take the pressure off. Just have fun, move, meet people, go on, hit those like buttons, make a comment here or there to people, and you'll automatically just get those connections. And that's the biggest thing. I know, you know, right from the bat, I think it was Michelle and Colleen, you know, just that encouragement where I always know, hey, I can't do this, but hey, if I work out and, you know, I connect and see what they're doing, I'll feel better and I'll feel motivated. So make those connections 1,000%.
Yeah, that's such a good perspective about it, especially thinking, you know, usually when people go into a workout, they're like, I'm trying to lose weight, get whatever they want to change about their body. But if you focus on making those connections, that's the part of this that's like so fulfilling. And we're all at different places of consistency. Not everybody is out there doing it 7 days a week. Like, yes. You know, we just need to be in our own space and figure out what's right for us and what fits in our life. But it's really about making those connections.
It is. And if you want to feel better, just look at, you know, go back and look at my slides, my ups and downs, yet I still keep coming back. It's still there waiting always.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to hear about, you know, people that do struggle with consistency. I don't know how everyone doesn't struggle with consistency, but especially if you've got kids, you've got other things going on, you have animals to take care of, you know, sometimes you can't always have the pressure on yourself to work out every single day.
And if it takes the fun out of it, that makes it hard. So, you know, show up, enjoy, and have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, why is your workout important in particular?
Mine, for me, as I said, it really is about kind of the mind game, that mental space of, I take care of my kids, I take care of my animals, everyone else comes first. And so I tend to come last no matter what I do. It's just putting everyone else and getting everything in order. And so making the time to do it, number one, feels good. And then the second I work out, you know, a couple minutes, even those days I'm thinking, oh, I can't do it. I can't handle one more thing, or it's too early. I don't want to get out of, you know, get dressed. Sometimes I've shown up in pajamas to work out just because I'll show up. But I love how I feel. It's the mood shift 1,000%. And I tell it to anyone, no matter where you are in your fitness level, Don't feel you even have to do the full 30 minutes of a start. Get there and just go. And once you start going, it escalates. It feels better and improves tremendously. So I do it for that part. At some point, maybe there'll be more results. I know every summer I get super fit and I'm doing all my stuff and my workouts, everything kind of comes together. I have a big sweet tooth, really, really bad. Like I don't think people would believe if I said what I ate. And this helps. The other thing I notice is when I start to work out, it's a positive cycle. I'll get up and do my TAM in the morning, and then I'm not craving all of the other, I guess, fillers that I do in my life to try to emotionally go. So it helps me there as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. It really does help for kind of the whole circle, not just about like the fitness. So it's key to overall wellness for sure. What would be some advice that you have received from someone in the Tamily that's made a difference to you?
I think the main thing again is just show up, that it's okay to just be there and welcome yourself and welcome other people. I haven't gotten too much unsolicited advice. It's really just been the support. Those days when you go and you're like, oh, do I really want to post that? And there's always someone, that finds one positive thing to comment or say or encourage. And I think it's the positivity more than advice that's impacted me.
Yeah, that is a really good point. It is more like if you ask for the advice, there's probably tons of people that will get it, or give it. But if you don't, there's not a lot of this like how to correct your form stuff.
I got 1,000 sports bra recommendations when I asked. So there is definite advice out there if you want on everything.
Yeah. But no, that's such an important point about this community. Like you can post yourself doing a move totally wrong and thinking you look horrible and people will still say positive things.
No, it's an interesting way to look at it. And all I can see, Miriam, stop posting about candy and Scotch mallows in the chat. You're making me so hungry.
She is posting a lot about candy. That's interesting. Well,
love you too, Miriam.
It's like the middle of the night there, right? I think she's...
It's early morning. It would be 7 a.m. there, 7 something. So
that's not bad. Well, she should type in a question instead of talking about candy. Let me see. So what is your routine about the workout? Do you do attain, intermediate, start, or do you mix it up?
I mix it up. I generally, when I get going, stick with attain. I like the challenge of it as a prior gymnast and someone who just loves the challenge of things and the movement of the body. I like attain. I love looking at those movements that people struggle with and going, oh, I want to nail that one, or the planks and the headstands. I love headstands. So, it's those silly things and that I love. So I try to do attain. I've started challenging myself to do more of the cardio. I definitely do not post it. No one wants to see that, though I did post a cardio dance today with my dog. And, I started letting myself allow myself to do, either catalyst or start some of those shorter components of the program when I wasn't quite feeling up to doing attain and going, I don't know if I can do an hour and 4 minutes today, and just saying, oh, it's okay. Do what you can, or, get started and then see if the time's there. But I'm all over the place. I do the Frank and Tam workout sometimes.
Well, sometimes you just have to do what you think is fun as well. So now we do have some questions from Miriam.
Okay.
So first, she would like to know, what are some of your favorite TAM moves?
Oh my goodness. I think I talked a little bit about that right now. I love the different plank moves. I really do. Not as an ex-gymnast, you'd think I'd love the splits. Don't love them that much. Miriam can do them better than me now. I have to step up my game. And then I love, the headstands, any of the unique choreography where you really have to think and get the opposite sides of the body moving. I always joke, you know, if I'd have had these workouts when I was a gymnast, my floor routines would have been so much better.
Gosh, I bet they would. It's funny how Tam like can connect to any other type of performance.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam also asked, when are you going to commit to learning a signature dance with me? And she means her.
Oh my goodness. All right, Miriam, you name it and I will commit. You know I love a good challenge. I can't turn down a challenge. That's my downside. Ask Miriam. 5 a.m. We're going to run the bleachers a million times every morning for fun. And I'll show up. Yeah, let me know when and I'll do it. But it's, like I said, it's not pretty. I used to teach line dancing though, so I can do the moves, but it's a different visual aspect.
You have a couple of different performance type of things in your background with gymnastics and line dancing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I went to college, I was an actor. I do little cheesy commercials, and I like having a role. Give me a role, and I'm good.
So Small Talk Tamily asked, what is the story about the Scotch mallows?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Scotch mallows, and this is a plug for two places. One of them, of course, is C's Candies, and the other one is this little chocolateria up in Grass Valley, California. And it's dark chocolate with marshmallows and caramel. And Miriam showed up here several years ago and brought 2 pounds of just solely the Scotch mallows, and we cleared them out pretty quickly. So I returned the favor and we went to Thailand. I don't know if they made it to Thailand. No, they did. And we had another couple pounds there. They're just delicious goodness. My husband will bring some home for me from the little place there, and I'll eat a good 5 or 10 pounds on my own.
Yeah. We have another question from Miriam. She said, why do you do your workout barefoot?
Oh my goodness. I know. I watch everybody in shoes, and I've tried a couple times. I haven't discredited it. But as a gymnast, just the toe points and the form, it feels so strange to me to have shoes on. And I did cheerleading too, where we would tumble and do things with tennis shoes, and it didn't bother me there. But for some reason with the performance, I just haven't been able to do it. Same thing with cardio. I'll do cardio barefoot, and I know Courtney would probably cringe and go, what? Why? But it just feels more natural to me. So
yeah, probably.
I'm the rebel.
That gymnast piece, because I mean, I didn't do anything physical before Tam, so I don't have anything else to compare it to. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. So I'm probably not getting as good of a workout though, because that's less weight on my legs. But
oh, that's true.
Oops, I'm kidding.
Miriam also said, this is not a question, but she said, show us the horses and the pigs and the cows and the dogs. I don't know if you can show us all those animals.
I don't know that my internet would work more than 5 feet from where I am. But I do have one dog climbing up the side of me right here. And the other 2 are sitting right there on the couch.
Oh, that's wonderful. How many dogs do you have?
I have 3 dogs and
how
5
many
horses and 2 pigs, although we're picking up 3 more in a couple weeks.
Oh my God.
We'll be picking up our cows for the season pretty soon, and then chickens. So.
Oh my gosh.
And cats and a rabbit and a guinea pig.
So you have like a really serious farm in the country going on.
We've made good of it. You know, when I was little, my dream was like, I'm going to be the crazy lady with all of the animals. And then I ended up getting married, and that kind of ruined that. But he humors me. And every year we just add a little bit more. But we produce most of our own food too. So there is a purpose. Sorry, vegetarians. This is the way to do it though, because they're very well cared for. And yeah, so we always have a freezer stocked full of really well cared for, really well fed meat. So it's amazing. A win-win.
That is amazing. That's beyond just Tam in the country. That is like serious farm life. There's a bunch of comments in the chat, but I think just one more question in the chat right now. So from Small Talk, she said, how long have you known Miriam? I suppose it's a while. Was the Tamily always so big?
So I have known Miriam since we were 4 or 5 years old. So we met in preschool, and we played then. We went through some ups and downs, and elementary school just kind of really got into some shenanigans together, some goofiness. And even though we switched schools, somehow we always ended up, meeting up, and our parents moved close to each other in middle school, high school. We went to different middle school and then went to high school together. She went off to some fancy UC Davis in college, and we've just always stayed connected. And, when she moved to Malaysia, it was a little bit harder. And I think Tamily has helped bring us together and keep us together even more, because it's nice to have those scheduled times and those reminders. Hey, I'm going to be on Zoom at this time. You're going to come and work out. And it's definitely, even though we've known each other, gosh, going on 40 years, getting old. Yeah, it's helped a lot. And as far as Tamily, I don't know how big it is. I'd love to hear numbers, but humongous and always growing.
But that's so fun that you two, obviously were like lifelong friends before the Tamily even existed. And then to think that the Tamily can actually enhance and help that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she was the maid of honor in my wedding. And if I had to choose again, it would be her again, but we'd probably work out beforehand with Scotch mallows.
We need to see some of those wedding pictures for sure.
Yes, I will. I will post some good flashback pictures. I might even be nice.
That would be awesome. Let's see. We'll ask you another planned question before we go back to the chat. So what do your friends and family think of the Tracy Anderson method?
So the couple friends I've tried to recruit have done a little bit of the beginner with me, but I think it's a bit much for some people. And then my family, I've made my mom do it a couple times, which is kind of fun. She's in her mid-60s, and she's got a rockin' body. She's so in shape anyway. But she did a little bit of it as well. As far as my immediate family, my husband laughs. He likes to show up and eat potato chips behind me while we're working out. And especially if it's on Zoom, he likes to check in and say hi and do something obnoxious. My kids, when I first started, they would inevitably come in and give me extra weights. So they like to hop on my back and do the moves with me. So I get my extra, 50-pound workout there. And I humor it. Luckily, my 10-year-old's pretty small, so it's not too bad.
Oh my God.
Now that my older son's going to be a teenager in a couple months, I noticed he and his buddies will come by and laugh once in a while. Miriam's playlists always make me pretty popular. When they hear it, they come in to see what I'm doing. Like, wow, you know this song? You're cool. It's not
me. Oh, that's funny. Okay, now we have some more questions in the chat. Miriam typed this in all caps, so I think she's serious. How do you feel about building a Tam cave in the barn next door?
Oh, do I get the cool floor?
For sure.
That would be pretty cool. We'd have to put a hotspot out there to get better internet there, but I think that might be worth doing. We could do retreats there. It could be the Airbnb Tam workout retreat. Oh, and then, you can have the farm experience horses. We could this would take off.
Amazing. Really? That would be so amazing.
Yes.
So Betsy asked a question. I think I must have missed it before, but she said, does Tam help you ride better? And do you Tam on days that you ride?
Hi, Betsy. Yeah, it does. I'll be honest. I think Tam helps me do everything better. Like I said, my motivations are more through the challenge and the experience than the physicalness. But I've noticed when I ride, my balance is better. My legs are stronger. When I hike, I'm not winded. When I, do anything, whether it's kayaking, I do search and rescue, where we do rappelling and ascending on ropes. And those things that would have been a challenge in the past or that other people had a challenge with came so natural. It wasn't difficult. And I do attribute a lot of that to the TAM and just the movement and the refining of using your body. So
Yeah. Like using your whole body and accessory muscles and everything. That's amazing. You're like a really super well-rounded human being.
I do a lot. Drives my brother crazy.
What is important to you in your life that you would like to share with the Tamily?
Oh my goodness. What's important to me? My dogs are very important to me, and I want you to mention it to them. Now, I would say just, family and friends, and really paying attention to them and loving them. I just want to put that out there. Nature, I can't say enough about getting outdoors. For those people who do spend a lot of their time working out indoors, don't forget to connect outside. It's so, so important, I think, for well-being and health. And I won't go into the preachiness there, but it can get easy to get caught in the bubble. Go outside, go do 10 minutes of something today if you haven't. And, like you said, I do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of really, really unique things. And I don't know.
Very cool. No, and I think like the method is such a, additive element for people who do, they have kids, they have farms, they have careers, and it kind of helps you to really be balanced enough and have an outlet for stress and everything as well. Really brings things together. So Miriam has another very serious question for you, but we have to know, what are your favorite leggings?
Well, I think the Malaysia, the Tam Cave leggings for sure, with the Lift Nation. And some pretty talented people out there making leggings. I'll be honest, I'm very, I don't want to say cheap, I'm very frugal. My animals take a lot of money, so I don't spend freely. And the thought of spending money on leggings initially, I was like, oh, these people are crazy. And then I got my first Lift Nation leggings, went, oh my gosh, I know why people do this now. It made so much more sense.
Yeah, they are fabulous, but you do have to, make your spending decisions.
Yes.
Betsy would like to know, if you have any time left, do you do search and rescue with your horses?
I do. I actually qualify on ground at search and rescue, so general hiking. I do ATVs and quads, and then qualifying horses. My dog's about to knock the lamp over. This could be fun in about 10 seconds. Here, puppy. This is the same puppy that peed on my mat in the middle of my workout, by the way. She just wanted attention. It was awesome. But no, I do. I do search and rescue, and I have 2 new horses that have been previously qualified, so I'll get them qualified with me and hopefully get to spend some time out with them with good results.
Really awesome. Yeah, that is amazing. That is got to be a first in an Ask Tamily interview to learn that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something that you can do now that you couldn't do before the method?
Ooh, hold on. Let me move this dog.
Okay.
This is the real moment of my life when the dog takes over. What I can do now that I couldn't do before, I would say in my adult life, a lot more of the movement, like the stretching, the flexibility that I had when I was younger, that kind of goes away if you don't use it. I can definitely do those things more. And my stamina has improved a lot. You don't realize that you're getting so much of a workout until you start to do other things, and you just see that kind of rise and rise, where your resting heart rate's always down, and there's so much added health that comes with it. I think those would be the main things. I can look in the mirror now with more confidence, which is a good thing. And I'm very lucky that I don't have, body issues. I'm not concerned really about my weight or how I look. But I find when I work out, nothing has changed. It could be one day into a workout and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm looking good. It's such a unique mind game.
Yeah.
I think that confidence comes with it.
Yeah, it's totally mental, but hopefully it like lets us realize that it's totally mental when we think that we look terrible. Like,
Yeah, yes.
it's really just about the state of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a bunch more questions in the chat now. Let me go back for a second. So Aggie, who always asks really good Ask Tamily questions, she says, what is the most important lesson you have learned from life thus far?
Oh my goodness. So I would say without a doubt, when you have the chance to do something, go for it. Safety wise, of course. You know, I've made mistakes in my life and I don't necessarily regret them because I've learned from them. You know, I own my mistakes. I own things that I've done wrong. But the regrets that I have over the years really are the things that I could have done and didn't. Going to see Miriam a couple years, you know, going to Australia, these things that there's these little fears that hold you back, and canceling on life and giving up parts of yourself, whether it's out of fear or, you know, whatever the reason is. So I'd say if you have the chance to do something, go do it, try something new. And I just think there's so much value in that. Yeah, especially now that we think about, you know, COVID and being locked down, these experiences I could have had that I might not get to.
Right. Gosh, that's the biggest thing. Like thinking I couldn't, you know, spare time from my job or something like that to go do something that would be fulfilling. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Small Talk would like to know, you said that you love a challenge. How do you challenge yourself within the Tracy Anderson method?
Okay, I would say for me, my own challenges within that is, of course, doing Attain and stepping out of my comfort zone. Like I said, my holdup is, you know, the cardio. Not that it's hard, but those are the times when I look at myself and judge, when I see myself flopping around and, you know, doing these things. So that type of challenge of just getting out there and doing it. The Attain is a challenge within the method. And then, you know, Miriam again had that really cool annual coloring chart that has kind of the days that you work out and what you do. That type of a challenge for me is such a good visual challenge of, gosh, I really rocked it here. And then, ooh, that whole letter's blank. I better get on it. Because when you're busy, time goes by, you know, working 12, 14-hour days sometimes, and realizing, gosh, I haven't done it. I haven't made the time. And so just challenging myself that way is really important.
Absolutely. Miriam would like you to tell us about Wyatt and Colton.
Oh, my two boys. So I have, like I said, I have an older son who's going to be 13 in just a couple months, and Colton is going to be 11, and he just peeked around the corner. He heard his name. You want to come say hi? And they are just 100% boy. They are everything. Hi, this is Colton.
Hello.
That I would have asked for. And, you know, I got two boys and they keep me on my toes. They're both very different. Wyatt has the really furrowed brow right there. He's always very, very serious and ready for something. And Colton is just, you know, as the hair shows, the kind of wild child, go with everything. And, you know, they're me when I was little. I wasn't much of a girly girl. And so it's fun to have kids to run around and get dirty with and, you know, play in the mud, pick up bullfrogs, anything, you know. Maybe I'd have had a girly girl and it wouldn't have worked out so well.
Right.
I don't know. Nothing wrong with that. But
right.
Teenage years would have been payback, though.
Yeah. Aggie has another deep question for us. She said, what is the best advice that your mama gave you?
Oh my goodness. The one that came to mind is so ridiculous. I used to work on a guest ranch in Colorado, and I would get one day off a week, and I would sleep in my truck to save money. And my mama told me, stop sleeping in your truck. So that's it now. My mom is just an amazingly supportive woman. Anything that I've ever wanted to do, she has 1,000% supported me. And so I think just being true to myself, and, you know, when I went to college and, hey, I'm going to switch and become a theater major. And then I finished and I was so tired from, you know, doing radio all night or doing shows and not getting any sleep. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to graduate in 12 hours after graduation, move to a guest ranch in the middle of nowhere in Colorado. And they didn't bat an eye. They just go for it, have fun, you know. And then, you know, everything I've done, they've just been supportive. So more than advice, it's just been support. Other than don't sleep in your truck. Stop doing that.
Right. That's probably some good advice. But that is really awesome. Just honestly being supportive of what your children want to do makes a huge difference in their success.
Yeah, I hope I can be the same way. It's different when it's your own kids though, and you want to protect them and push them certain ways. So hopefully I'll learn from her. Good question.
So 70 over Tam would like to know, what do you do for a living?
Hi, Kathy. So I, for the past 20 years, have been a school teacher. I've taught elementary and middle school. And then in September of this year, I moved into administration with all of the COVID happening. My specialty has been technology, which works really well right now, obviously. So I have a job now at the district office where I get to train teachers and support them and help them, you know, do the best we can for everything going on. So it's been very unique, lots of long days, but teaching had a lot of long days too. So no complaints about the change. So I've been in education for about 20 years.
That's excellent. On top of everything else.
Yep. And then run the Airbnb and the ranch and breed labs and all sorts of fun stuff. My job is staying busy.
It sure is. Well, I think on many of these interviews, we've said, you know, everybody in the Tamily is very, very different, but we all seem to be a little bit type A. So
yes.
that
I think we all have that in common, and so we understand and respect that, which is good.
Definitely. What would you say is the most important thing that you do to maintain balance in your life?
I would say as far as balance, it's just getting out and making time for the things that you like. I am someone who I have an overarching sense of responsibility. So I'll work 12, 14, 20 hours a day if needed at the expense of myself. And so finding balance just in making the time to work out, making the time to go outdoors and do things that fill you, that give purpose. And, you know, in my job, that's part of why I do it. I could make a lot more money doing other things, but there's that purpose that comes and that balance happens. Betsy. No, I don't sleep. Everyone asks, what don't you do well? I don't clean very well and I don't sleep. Those are not my priorities.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Let's see. Do you have any kind of a motivational quote that you would like to share with the Tamily?
Oh gosh. I love Thoreau's quote, go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you've always imagined. And that's it. And my dog. Hi, Sierra. Thank you for dropping my drink. She's so sweet.
You have such a good fake sweet face.
It's all those years of acting.
I guess that goes a little bit into the acting.
I love that dog right now. She's the best.
Oh. That is a great quote, though. That is really definitely one that connects with the Tamily. Mm-hmm. How did you discover the Tamily on Instagram?
Through Miriam. You know, she's like, hey, you know, so you have to create this account. I'm like, I barely have my other Instagram account. I have my acting one that I don't use much at all, just to like show that I'm there and post. I have my personal one, and now I have to have a third one. And, luckily through her, I just started, hitting up people that knew her and making connections there. So she's really brought me into all aspects of it and keeps me going. So.
Well, I think she's done that for a lot of people in the Tamily. She's
Yes.
probably a reason why the Tamily is so huge.
Master motivator. She has always been like that as long as I can remember. That's just, she's the ringleader. Luckily, she uses it for good, because it could be really bad if it were the other way around. So way to go, Miriam.
That's true.
I won't tell stories, though.
Can you tell us what you are most proud of, either personally or professionally?
Oh, wow. I guess I'm just most proud of being true to who I am and not being afraid of things. Always trying something new. It sounds silly, but like I said, my background was in acting, and I knew I didn't want to be famous, and I'm like, oh, I'm such a driven person. If I go to LA, I'll make it. Yeah, right. But that was my justification. And so when everyone else went off to LA and I chose not to, and kind of figured out who I was, I think I'm very proud of that aspect, and being true to who I am, trying new things, babbling a lot. I'm great at babbling.
We don't consider it babbling on Ask Tamily at all. So Miriam has another question. She said, how did you feel when you made your first connection in the Tamily?
I think that it really changes things. When you have the first person or the first couple people, as I said, it was Michelle and Colleen are really the first two people other than Miriam that I really remember like going, oh, I want to see what they're up to. Gosh, if they, if they can do this. And I don't know if it's because they both have boys, and if there's that, little connection of, being a mom and struggling there, or they're just such positive people and lights. And it's this connection that I think is so important. And, I live out, like I said, in more of a rural area. So it's a little bit of a walk to get to see people. And we do have the connections here. But when you have a group that you have something in common with, and they're struggling through the same thing or celebrating the same thing, like, hey, I finally made that move. That's big. It changes things a lot.
It really does. Have you faced any challenges in doing the method?
My big thing is the consistency aspect of it, of course. And my challenge is with the arches. I have, from doing gymnastics, when I went to a surgeon to look into my back issues, they had said from doing all of the back bends, I have a hairline fracture in my lower back, and I have problems with my L5S1. And so a lot of those arches are very difficult for me. And so I've really had to be graceful with myself and saying, you don't have to do everything everyone's doing. And, stepping up and going, okay, it's fine. I'll do whatever I can and go with it, and not judge myself for not being able to do it.
Absolutely. Especially in that circumstance, like, if you have to modify or skip a move or something, that's just, maybe what you have to do.
Yeah.
If you could talk to your 20-year-old self, what would you say?
I'm not going to say what first comes to mind. I'll do that on the uncensored one that's not in public.
Right. It'll be like Ask Tamily After Dark or something.
Gosh, I would say go for it. I think it's very interesting being here and realizing how lucky I feel I am, in that aside from that one, angel on my shoulder saying, don't do that. I think I would just tell, go for it. No matter what you do, you're going to be doing something great. So stick with it and, have fun. Oh, and travel to Malaysia and Australia when the chance comes. Don't listen to your husband who's afraid of flying.
Yeah. That is very important. If you have a chance for a Tamily meetup, don't miss it ever.
Don't do it. And Maggie, I'm not saying it now, but in the next Zoom, I'll tell you.
Okay. Let me see what other questions we have planned for you. I think we've gotten all the ones that are in the chat. Let's see. Is there a Tam move that you used to hate that you now love?
You know, I'll be honest, it's not necessarily a move. It's a whole section. I hated arms, hated them. I have really strong arms, and I can throw 100-pound bale of hay and not think twice. When I first started doing Tamily, and I'd be doing those repetitive motions, I dreaded them. They hurt. I couldn't understand how I was so exhausted in arms when that was where the bulk of my strength is. And as Miriam had said, it's just, it's those smaller muscles, and the overall is so different than what I'd ever used my arms for.
Yeah.
And I've grown to like it. When I worked with Kelly last year, and like I said, she does a killer arm workout. Kelly is the master. I really grew to respect and love it, and I look forward to them now. And that's a big shift from a couple years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to like fast forward. And
oh, that's funny. I think there's like two whole different camps of people either love arms or absolutely hate them. But that's awesome that you could make that transition to not hating them.
Yes, it took some time.
I find some weeks that I do the arms in every workout until I find which arms that I will tolerate.
Pick and choose, pick and choose.
Right. How do you feel following a workout immediately?
Amazing. It does not matter whether it was a new workout or the end of the week. I just feel great. 5-10 minutes into it, I feel good. I feel the shift of accomplishment, of just showing up, of doing something for myself that like I said, I struggle with taking time for myself. And then when I'm done, I'm just like, I can keep going. I know I'm going to eat better that day just because I've started off feeling good and doing things. I know, sweetheart, you hear my poor dog. She's like, let me out to play. Yeah, afterwards though, it's just that sense of accomplishment.
Absolutely. Well, we just have a few minutes left with you. Let me see if there's another question that we haven't asked yet. Do you remember what your first Tamily post was to Instagram?
I do. I believe it was me and Miriam in that garage next door working out on the floor for the first time.
Oh, that's so funny. What a great first post. A lot of people just post their shoes or a picture of the mat or something.
No, I was thrown right in. Like, we're videoing and this is just what you do.
I imagine diving into Tam with Miriam is diving into the deep end for sure.
Yes. Yep. No floaties. You just go.
Small Talk has another question, and I'm going to have to learn what her name is so that I will stop calling her
Hi, Small Talk. What's your name?
She says, how long have you been doing Tracy Anderson, and have you had any interruptions, I guess, maybe when you stopped?
Yeah, like I said, my first time actually trying it was July of 2018. And then I think I did the 14-day trial and was kind of on the fence. And I believe in September for my birthday of 2018 was the first time I said, you know what, you've done gym memberships in the past and not shown up, and it's an hour back and forth for me. If I go to the gym, it's an extra hour of commute time. And so September of that year is when I really started going. And I've not been always consistent. I think if you watch, if you were to go back on Instagram and look at the dates, I'll have, some pretty good cycles, and I'll be going. Summer's always easier for me because as a teacher, I wasn't working, and I get up early and do my morning hikes and then be able to work it in. But I'd say I've done it pretty consistently, inconsistently since then.
So Miriam asked if you'll build a Tam cave in your garage. So I think she really wants you to build a Tam cave.
So what she's not saying is it's not my garage, it's her shop. We have an Airbnb. I say we. I kind of manage it. And when she gets to come, so she technically lives next door to me when she's visiting. And so there's this big shop, which is perfect to build a tam cave. And I think what she's asking is, are you committed enough to make it worth the while for us to do this? So
that's such a great idea.
And yes, it's here. It's going to be on Ask Tamily. I am committed enough to try to make this work. And Hunter agrees. My dog agrees too.
We're going to hold you to it. People can do a lot of things in Ask Tamily. I'm not sure exactly what. Okay, so this is from Meg. She said, what is your tip to other tammers?
My tip to other tammers really is just, go in with a positive attitude and do it. Just don't judge yourself. Don't judge other people either. I think sometimes women can do that, but I don't see that in the Tamily. It's like this whole different subculture of women. So congrats to all of you out there. You're just amazing. But get in there, do it, try it on those days that you're thinking I can't do it at all. Show up, do it for 5 minutes, and you'll see that 5 minutes will turn into 30 minutes or an hour. And just take it at your pace. Don't be afraid to try the different areas. Talk to Tamily, send those messages, put those messages out there and ask questions, find a group that you can join and help motivate you. If you're like me and the chances of you getting up and doing it on your own are limited, find a group that's Zooming at the same time. Michelle's had so many different groups going and can get you in contact with people. If you can find a friend that'll do it with you, I think that would be even better. Let your dogs join, let your kids join. Mary and I are two different schools of thought. Her kids would never show up and jump on her back like mine do. But I, do what works for you.
Well, there's a whole bunch of people in the chat that are going to come to this garage when you set it up. And Miriam said she's going to send the floor.
Ooh, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We'll put Brandon to work.
What an awesome little thing to decide to do during an Ask Tamily interview.
Yes.
Well, I think that's all the questions that we have for you, Alicia. What
Oh my gosh.
What, if anything else, would you like to say to the Tamily while you have this audience?
Just thank you all thank you all so much for being here, for supporting each other, for supporting me, and for giving my dog something to be so excited about.
Well, it's been awesome talking to you, Alicia. Thank you for being interview 134.
You too, Susie. Thank you. And I'm so glad they waited till the end to do this.
It did work out perfectly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.